You can make excuses. You can say, look, he doesn't know the extent of the injury. No, we don't know if it's a knee, whether it's an ankle, whether it's foot, whatever. There's no argument as a professional footballer.
I mean, it's a disgrace. I mean, Gary Neville last night said if I was a Liverpool player, I'd be going over and smashing into him.
Just take a record.
If that was my teammate, Martinelli's my size. If that's my teammate, I'm going over there and causing a ruckus.
We know on paper that team is stacked full of great players, but it's always been, how are they going to handle the pressure going into the final couple of months of the season?
I was dreading it, but the outcome, we'll take it, we're pleased. Solid performance.
Yeah, the onus was definitely on Arsenal. All the pressure was on Arsenal as the home team to insert their game plan and show us, as the current champions, why they are the champions-elect. And I don't think across 2 games, 180 minutes, Arsenal have laid a glove on Liverpool.
Hello and welcome to Inside Liverpool. We are on TalkSport's YouTube channel and coming to you as well on your smart TVs. The first Inside Liverpool of 2026. And I'm sure, fingers crossed, is going to be an exciting 2026 for Liverpool Football Club. I'd like to say we're going to be with you every single week this year. So very much looking forward to that. Very excited to be alongside the great man, Jermaine Pennant. I think weekly with you, Jermaine, is that, have the I's been dotted, the T's been crossed?
I think so.
Or,
yes, I could be grazing your screens alongside yourself. So hopefully we can share a lot of smiles and enjoyment now.
Well, we did last season, didn't we? Which was great fun, wasn't it? So fingers crossed we can get back to it in 2026.
Correct.
Former Liverpool winger Jermaine Pennant, I don't know if you know, but I'm contractually obliged to tell you, he did get man of the match for Liverpool in the 2007 Champions League final, which is quite cool, isn't it? And also, I'd like to say that Alex Gilday-Trott from COP TV, a man that I'm sure Liverpool fans will have seen across various platforms, is also with us. Happy New Year, guys. How are we?
I'm good. After last night, I'm better. I was dreading it, but the outcome, we'll take it. We're pleased. Solid performance. Something to work on and grow on and to take forward with us. It could be, a change of direction now.
It felt like, Alex, when me and Jermaine, we were watching together, weren't we? We did a watch along last night on TalkSport's YouTube channel. You were there, you were in the way in.
Yeah.
I mean, a game with 2 halves, where first half, it was all Arsenal, we were sitting deep. And then second half, the game kind of completely flipped on its head.
Yeah, the onus was definitely on Arsenal. All the pressure was on Arsenal as the home team to insert their game plan and show us, as the current champions, why they are the champions-elect. And I don't think across 2 games, 180 minutes, Arsenal have laid a glove on Liverpool. I can't remember one clear chance that they created across the 2 games. So, yeah, listen, in another world, we have Isak, we have Ekitike, we have Salah, and we would have gone for it a bit more. But tactically, I think it was spot on last night. And if any team deserved to win that game last night, I do think it was Liverpool.
Go back to the beginning of the game then. In terms of that first half performance, where we did sit very, very deep, and we did spend a lot of the game with, at times sort of pretty much 10 people on the edge of the box. Did you understand that game plan, that tactic, with the injuries that we had, given how strong Arsenal were? Were you okay with that game plan, Jermaine?
I wouldn't say I was okay with that game plan, because letting a team like Arsenal just dominate you and you sit back and just go, OK, try and score, they will. You need at some point to have a respite. You need at some point to start getting up the pitch and putting a glove onto them. So I was a little bit worried after like 23 minutes, thinking we ain't getting out. That, if it continues the way it's going, we could be in a little bit of bother here. But I was happy to see half-time come in, it'd be 0-0. And like you said, second half was totally opposite. It was literally Arsenal sitting deep, which helped us in essence, because then we goes, OK, you didn't press us. When we was getting pressed, we were struggling. We couldn't really get out. And then Arsenal sat back, gave us that breathing space, and then we was be able to control the ball and pick them off, and it played into our hands.
And on that first half performance, sitting deep, again, I can't remember really of an obvious chance Arsenal had in that first half. So you'd have to say, in terms of that game plan, it was executed pretty much to perfection, I guess, going in at half-time 0-0. Or close to perfection.
Yeah, perfection would have been 1-0
counter-attack. If that Bradley shot goes in off the bar, then that's perfection.
Me and Pen were talking just before the show. If that ball lands to a McAllister, a Szoboszlai,
anyone but Bradley, or maybe Canate as well.
Technically, Bradley did spray a few passes last night. He has got that kind of big switch in his locker. But listen, if that lands to someone, even Salah, I think that preferred a left-footed more probably from that angle. So there's a chance there. I think that's the closest any team came. Of course, Arsenal whipped a few balls into the box, but There was a couple of tame efforts at goal, which Alisson dealt with fairly easily. But again, I think when you look at the context of the game, Arsenal are going for a league. They're trying to stretch that lead even to 8 points. I think it stays at 6. And again, if you ask both of those managers which game plan worked more, at one point in the second half, Liverpool had 75% possession. So you'd have to say that Liverpool, should be happier coming out of that game with a 0-0 result. But like I said, all the onus was on Arsenal. And I was with the AFTV lads last night, and hearing the waffle that they had, it was quite amusing. They weren't happy with
4s and 5s, right?
No, I was hearing 3s, 4s. I mean, look, all of us around this table, we probably did think we'd lose last night. So to come away with the 0-0, it's not a win. People are saying, "Oh, congrats on your 0-0 win." That's fine. We take that. But if they're the champions, then I still think there's a long way to go before they can crown themselves, if they haven't done that already.
And then in that second period, you mentioned that, I think it was sort of midway through that second half, we had 75% of possession. I thought the way we moved the ball was really good. We looked really comfortable. But to kind of state the obvious, we did just kind of lack that focal point up front, didn't it? I feel like we had lots of good possession. Maybe apart from Frimpong getting in down the right-hand side, I didn't ever feel like we were maybe going to score, Jermaine. Lots of good possession, but I wondered in that final third how we were going to sort of make that final pass and create that opening.
Yeah, we was missing a massive vocal point, a real target man. And we've got two of the best at the moment out injured in our squad with Ekitike and Isak. So we was always going to struggle there. And Gakpo, you could have played in there, but he was on the left. So it was Florian Wirtz as a number 9, then went out of possession, dropping as a 10, and then dropping deeper. So we was playing on bare bones up there, and it did affect us, with the creativity, with the chances, looking to threaten them to score. But we did have a few chances, which if the final ball was better, we may have scored. The one for Florian Wirtz where Frimpong played it behind him, instead of in front of him, a great piece of play to get down the line. It got away from Lewis Skelly. All we had to do was play it across rather than behind, and it's a tap-in or a shot on goal for Florian Wirtz. But it was those little moments that just let us down, which, sometimes in these kind of games, you need that. You need that, just that one chance, put it away, and you go away with 1-0 win.
Because Liverpool have done that at the Emirates before. I remember the FA Cup game a couple of years ago, it was all Arsenal. They hit the bar a couple of times. I think there was an own goal by Kiwior and then Diaz. I mean, Liverpool had no chances in that game, but come away winning it 2-0. I think that team that we're talking about, 22, 23, 23, 24, probably goes for it a little bit more. But what more could we have done? With the injuries that we've got, and I don't want to make that an excuse, because we're in this position even when we had our top players fit, right? We're in this position because we've had a poor season. But with the context, with the players available, you have to be happy with that. You have to be.
Just single out a couple of players. I thought Milos Kerkez last night was absolutely fantastic. I thought it was his best game in Liverpool shirt for a long time. He's come for a lot of criticism, hasn't he, this season? And maybe at times rightly so. He has looked a little bit, I think, rash and reckless, certainly from a defensive point of view. But I thought going up against Saka, I thought that was the best game he had. Saka barely had a sniff. And I think, off the top of my head, the only time he actually got done, I think it was when Madueke came on, didn't he? And got past him late, and he flashed the ball across goal, and no one was there. But he can take real confidence from that game, Jermaine, because I don't think he put a foot wrong for 85 minutes last night.
100%. Listen, in a game of 90 minutes, you are not going to dominate your winger, your left winger or right winger, every single duel. There will be a time where you may do some trickery and get past you. And if it doesn't lead to anything, great. But in a whole, I thought he kept him quiet. We know what Saka can do, but as a whole, he did very well, especially coming under the criticism that he's been coming under. That, for him, would do absolutely massive for his confidence. Going in now to the next games in I've just dealt with one of the best right wingers in the league for the past 3 years. I've kept him quiet. We've kept a clean sheet. That now is going to really, right, I've landed. I'm here now, I'm at Liverpool, I can do it.
Yeah, I think when you look at the early start in the season, he was obviously very poor defensively and pretty much going forward. The Arsenal game actually in August, he was brilliant in that game. Yes, he's rash, yes, he goes to floor, but he got everything right yesterday. And I think there was a period where, as Liverpool fans, we were going, do you know what, just get Robbo back in. but he's slowly but surely keeping Robertson out of the team, which, you know, is a big feat considering how amazing Robertson's been for the last 9 years for Liverpool. And I think now, with these games under his belt, you know, clean sheet away at the Emirates and some other good defensive performances, I think he's pretty much nailed down that position now. I don't want to speak too soon because Robertson can always and probably will play on Monday night.
That'll be natural rotation down the second half of
it's
the
only
season when
natural.
Euro comes back,
It's only natural, but yeah, he's. For me, I do like the fact that he gets stuck in. He wins a lot of headers as well. For how small he is, he's got a big leap on him. Last night in the air, really good. Went to ground, but comes away with the ball a few times. I mean, there was that. I was at the game against West Ham where he's kind of headed the ball on the floor. There's two lads around him. He managed to squeeze away, and he's a warrior. He's a fighter, and that's what you need in these times when we need players that are really going to scrap for the team at the minute.
I think that sometimes happens, Jermaine, as a former player, that if you're not on a good patch of form, that just one good game, maybe from a winger's point of view, one good goal, one good cross, all of a sudden the pressure's off you, and then everything just feels completely different.
Yeah, 100%. Confidence is key. Confidence is massive in a professional footballer's career path and consistency. So we always looking just for that something out there to give us that kickstart, that momentum, that, you know, positivity for the next game. Whether it's you score a goal as a striker, right? You think, right, I'm going to score next week, and you do, and you get in this rhythm. Or if it's a midfielder where you're doing a bit of jinking, you're assisting. If you're a defender, you're keeping clean sheets. So putting in solid performance like that against, you know, everyone talk about the favourites for the league and the championship, and you come in against Bukayo Saka, who's you know a great player, then yeah, for his confidence, it's going to be absolutely huge. And but we did see this against Arsenal when it was at Anfield against Madueke. So hopefully now, you know, this kind of nails it down.
I have to say, though, in that left-handed side, when Gakpo's ahead of him, it seems I know Gakpo was more playing through the middle last night, but when Gakpo is on that left-hand side, it's like he's allergic to the overlap. Kerkez does make them runs kind of outside and is almost looking for that pass, but Gakpo doesn't seem to find him. I actually think he plays much better, Kerkez, when Wirtz is on that left-hand side, because, again, he keeps the ball close. He's always looking for that reverse pass back out. I would like to see some more crosses. I'd like to see some more shots from Kerkez. Yes, defensively, he's improving, but going forward, I think he needs to sit down with Gakpo and say, you know, what's going 100%. On here? Why are you not giving me the ball on the overlap? Because Gakpo, we know 9 times out of 10, he drops the shoulder and comes inside. Yeah. But if you do that, you can still use the reverse, even still. So I think he's learning to play with Gakpo, but from what I've seen, you know, going the games, him and Wirtz are a better partnership on that left-hand side.
There's just been so much rotation throughout the course of the season. Arne Slot not knowing what was best team is his best system. It almost feels like he's tried every player in so many different positions. So these sort of combinations, even though we're halfway through the season, just haven't been kind of built yet and formed yet.
Do you think, boys, that if Diaz was still there, Kerkez would prefer Diaz to be on the left?
Oh, 100%. Diaz is your ultimate winger inside forward. He works hard, he tracks back, he closes down, he goes outside to the byline. He also comes in like a Gakpo. What Gakpo does, he does both. So if you're a left back or right back, you're not sure. Well, if I'm marking Gakpo, I know, mate, you're going in there, you're going inside. I know what you're going to do. I know what you're going to do. When you've got someone like Luis Diaz, well, I can't show you inside because you're going to do something good. I can't show you down because you might want to go down to the line. So you're in a like, what do I do? So
you'd love Mane as well. I mean, that's
we'd all love Sadio Mane.
That's the best winger apart from Mo Salah that we've had in the last 20 years.
But if I'm Kerkez, I am screaming at him because when I used to play and I had right backs bombing on,
you had Finnan that you could knock it down to as well.
And not. They've made a 40-yard sprint and I've come inside and, you know, fluffed it. I'm hearing all sorts.
Was your right back a Liverpool Finnan? It was not below, was it? It was like later, wasn't it?
I had Steve Finnan, I had Arbeloa, whoever they put out there, I had a few.
But between Finnan and Pennant, you've got 2 great crosses there. I look at Kerkez and Gakpo. Gakpo's not a crosser.
No.
But one of Kerkez's biggest strengths of the ball, that ability to wrap his foot around that ball and Tottenham away, 100%. Won the ball back, carried the ball and pinged it first time.
Newcastle away last year where he scores, takes his top off. Like, I want to see a bit of that.
But he's obviously...
I mean, well...
Oh, no, that was impressive as well, by the way, I've got to say.
If you score, get the top off.
No,
Get the yellow.
hey, I remember that. I've got to say, the cross was good. The physique as well. I mean, if I had a body like that better, Jermaine, I'd never have a top on, you know. Have to make it weird, don't I? So Kirkes was good. The only bit of bad news last night was Conor Bradley, who, look, we never want to see any player get injured, never a good time to get injured. But he had a great game last night. I thought he was really solid last night. And, you know, you played the game, Jermaine, but those injuries, when it's a non-contact injury and a player goes down, you immediately wince yourself, don't you, and fear the worst. It looked nasty, it looked awful.
You fear the worst. When, like I said, when we go down and there's no contact or, you know, no one really around us, something's bad's happened. You know, yeah, when we're, you know, tussling and I won't say fake your injury, but go down, try and claim a foul, that's totally different. But when there's no one around us, we wouldn't just drop to the floor for no reason. It means serious. We're not trying to time waste. So for him to go down the way he did, and you could see him wincing, you know, the pain on his face, you know, whether you're the opposition, whether you're the fitness, whoever you are, you know that player is in a spot above her. And he's going to need treatment or help.
And you know, obviously, I think what Martinelli did is obviously kind of something that got spoken about a lot last night. I think he has apologised, but for those that haven't seen, after Bradley went down, I mean, I think Martinelli obviously assumed that he was maybe trying to waste time or something, kind of threw the ball at him, didn't he? Kind of tried to throw him back onto the pitch. And one thing I would personally say in Martinelli's defence, if I can, I don't think in that moment, maybe in the heat of the moment, Jermaine and Alex, that maybe he quite realised what was going on. Because if he did, Jermaine, surely a professional footballer wouldn't do that to a fellow professional footballer if in that moment he knew exactly the extent of that injury. Would that be fair, mate? I know that we know.
You can make excuses. You can say, look, he doesn't know the extent of the injury. No, we don't know if it's a knee, whether it's an ankle, whether it's whatever. But we know as professional footballers that something's serious.
Because there's no contact challenge.
There's no contact, so something's pulled, something's snapped, something's done something for you to all of a sudden just drop to the floor. And we know that as professional footballers. We've seen it throughout our career. We may have done it ourselves. We've seen other teammates go through it. We've seen it in training. We know. It's not something, you know, foreign or, what's going on there? We know. So I get it here at the moment, but he's been long around enough. He's a senior player. He's been to know the game, to understand that, this guy might be, this might be in a bit of a pickle here. Yeah. So to do that, you can't, there's no argument as a professional footballer. There's no argument.
That's fair.
Look, I respect that he's come out and apologised. It's the right thing to do. I appreciated that. But in the moment, I don't think Bradley even knows where he is in terms of where the line of the pitch is, because it happens on the line. And he's kind of rolling around, he's kind of punching the floor.
He must be very distressed.
I mean, he throws the ball at him like he's some big tough guy.
Yeah.
And then it's not like a little one-arm push. He shoves his whole body.
Well, he picks him up pretty much,
which could even make his injury even worse than it is. So, listen, Arteta's come out and said we know the character of Martinelli. Klopp in the past has called Martinelli a generational talent. So there is respect there for his craft, but I mean, it's a disgrace. I mean, Gary Neville last night said if I was a Liverpool player, I'd be going over and smashing into him.
Just take a red card.
Totally.
I don't know about taking a red. You go over and body check.
You can't smash that one or get a red card, can you?
I'll be honest. If that was my teammate, you know, Martinelli's my size. If that's my teammate, I'm going over there and I'm causing a ruckus.
What if he's not his size?
And then I'm looking for Virgil or Canate to back me up, and then you deal with the rest. But no, that.
Can I just say, I didn't want what I said there to make it sound like I'm defending Martinelli, because I thought my thoughts are obviously only on Conor Bradley. I maybe just, what I was trying to say is, I maybe just think that probably Martinelli's maybe woke up this morning, looked back on it and thought, oh my goodness me, I've seen the injury.
He's probably
maybe
embarrassed.
Didn't think he was maybe exactly that.
Yeah.
I also completely take your point, Jermaine.
And like I said, respect to him to coming out and apologising.
He probably does feel a bit embarrassed, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Thinking.
But in the moment, it's a disgrace.
Yeah,
It's a disgrace. You cannot do that.
Also, I mean, I love Jurgen Klopp to bits, but calling Gabriel Martinelli a generational talent.
Well, this was
he doesn't get
2019.
much wrong, but I think he might have got that wrong a little bit. A very good player. Generational talent?
No. Well, we know now it's not true.
You know, he had a fantastic, couple of seasons when they all did, when Odegaard, Saka, Martinelli, when there was both just firing on all cylinders. I think, between them all, they was in double figures of goals and assists that year, and rightly so. Yeah, look, great talent, but is not kicked on
to that next level. Yeah.
Not kicked on to that next level where everyone probably thought they would, even the Arsenal fans.
Kirk is much better last night, Alex. Ibrahim Konate has decided to be a defender again, which is useful and helpful, not having someone not be very good, shall we say, for the first few months of the season.
Put it kindly,
I
yeah.
also thought Alexis McAllister last night looked, again, like the Alexis McAllister of last season in terms of being good in possession, being able to get about the pitch.
Yeah,
Like
about time though, Sam.
Sure, absolutely.
You know, McAllister last season and Gravenberch were in the team of the season. Gravenberch gets Young Player of the Year. McAllister was unbelievable last season. He didn't have a break. He plays, a lot of football in the summer and just comes back into the season looking like his boots are in yoghurt. Like the way he's struggling to get around the pitch. Or maybe I should have said sand or quick sand.
No, why was yogurt the first thing that came to mind, Bob?
He's like he's drowning in yogurt. He can't really...
Well, if you have Greek yogurt...
What yogurt are you having, Alex?
Muller rice.
Good plug for Muller rice on Inside Liverpool. There we go.
But yeah, I think the way he's fallen off a cliff this season needs to be studied. But yeah, look, last night there was a few line-breaking passes. There was good possession, some good passes that cut out. I mean, that chance when Conor Bradley hits the bar, the 10 seconds before that, we're playing really incisive football on that right-hand side. We open up, Frimpong's got that pace. But I need to see that from McAllister every single week. Sure. And we've been seeing him get dominated by Leeds midfields, by Sunderland's midfield, by Wolves midfield, which isn't acceptable. I personally, last night, would have started Curtis Jones ahead of him based on form. Yeah. But again, we talk about Kirk as you've had a good game, you're staying in the team. Maka deserves to now play, I'm not sure on Monday night, but definitely against Burnley, where, there's maybe it's a more favourable fixture for him. But I love McAllister. I think he's a wonderful footballer, but we need to see him playing like that, if not better, every single week now. I mean, there's no excuse for him to fall off in the way he has.
Frimpong, I love watching him. He's a fun player to watch, isn't he? He was good last night, but also at times a tiny bit frustrating that he did look like, I think, our biggest threat down that right-hand side, and a couple of times he did get in. That was the good part of it. But again, the bad part of it, Jermaine, I think you mentioned it a little bit earlier on, there were a couple of moments he got himself into dangerous positions, and just that final ball, that little bit of quality when we needed it, was lacking from him? Yeah,
when you've got that pace, you're always going to be dangerous. And we need to use that while Salah's away. And, a couple of ties on having that pace, because not many defenders will keep up with him. But rightly so. There's no point having all that weaponry, having that pace when it comes to the important part of the game, when you get to the byline, when you're going to put a cross in the box, and either you can't beat the front man or you don't play it into your arriving teammate. You play it behind him or overhit it. That's where you need to just tidy up a little bit. Putting a great cross against Fulham for Gakpo, but we need that.
More consistency as well,
more consistency, yeah.
And that's what he would say if he was here. He'd be like, I did just get 2 assists in 2 games, and that's true. And I've interviewed Jeremy a couple of times since he's joined the club. Again, loves the club, really...
Bit of a character, isn't he?
Big character, really fun guy to be around. I think last night there was a moment where he kind of breaks that line. I don't want to necessarily give him too much credit, but if Trent was playing last night, knowing the weather, right? We know Arsenal fans, they love to tell us it's been raining. There was a chance last night, just get it across the keeper, just fire it across. Maybe there's a bit of a skid, maybe the keeper pushes it back into trouble. Just having that kind of instinct where you're looking at, because if Ekitike's there last night, he's right up with him, he's there for the ball back, and he probably scores. But I just want to see him maybe shoot a little bit more, maybe have that instinct to go, do you know what? Even if I don't score here, I'm just going to make something happen, get a shot on target, maybe the keeper parries it. But he has been contributing recently with assists. He got the Ekitike assist at Spurs away as well. So great, but again, let's see.
But when it matters, like last night, there was times where it was just a little bit off. Now, if he was fine-tuned that and got it on the money, like more times than not, Salah does. If you give Salah 5 crosses, 2 of them will be on the money, and it's up to our attackers to put them away. Where, Frimpong last night had a few occasions, and didn't make the most of that.
But again,
and in
that
these
pace.
games, you need, you get far from few chances. So when you do, you need to capitalise on it.
Yeah, I mean, that pace is dangerous. He's probably one of the quickest players in the Premier League. So if you can mix that in with, and the balls into the box that he has put in have been decent. He's dangerous on that side. I think it's quite clear that Arne Slot wants him in that right wing position instead of a right back, which is why the injury to Bradley
Do you
is
think that was the plan before ball was kicked this season?
I think maybe not necessarily, right, he's going to replace Salah, but it was, well, okay, you've been a wing-back for Leverkusen, you've been fantastic. And that's halfway between a full-back and a forward. So we bought him knowing that he could actually play in probably three positions, an out-and-out full-back, wing-back and a right winger. So, yeah, let's see more. Let's see more.
What was it like being there last night at the Emirates? You're in the away end. I'm guessing the travelling Liverpool fans in pretty good spirits?
Oh, man, they're always great. In the away end last night, I mean, it might sound a bit one-sided, but from where we were sitting, we couldn't hear Arsenal. They're North London forever at the start. Was drowned out by us singing. I mean, I started off about 3 "Where's your European Cup" chants myself, which I take full credit for.
Good man.
Yes, because where are they? That's
they're nowhere, are they?
They're nowhere.
They don't exist. I mean, we know that,
they're
don't
nowhere. And there was no kind of retaliation. They were very quiet last night.
Did it feel?
It felt like there was like nervous energy around the ground.
That same question. Did it feel tense? I mean, just watching it from the TV last night, we couldn't hear the commentary too much. Even when they panned to Arteta, I know he's quite normally animated, but he looked a bit worried, a bit nervous, a bit tense. And the thing that's been thrown towards Arsenal, we know on paper that team is stacked full of great, great players, but it's always been, how are they going to handle the pressure going into the final couple of months of the season? Did you sense a bit of nervousness last night?
I did. And I thought the away fans were fantastic last night. I was watching, I think Scholes said recently that they haven't actually won a big game this season. Yes, they beat United first game of the season 1-0.
Bayern Munich, maybe? Was that too early to call that big game?
I'm talking about Premier League.
Sure.
And in the last 2 or 3 years, yes, they've got draws against Liverpool. They've drawn against Man City at home this season. Yes, they have beaten Aston Villa. Brilliant second half. Sure. They deserve to win that 4-1. But when it comes to the big games, have we seen Arsenal in recent times? No. I know they beat Man City 5-1 last year, but have we seen them beat Liverpool in the last 2 seasons? Have we seen... I mean, they lost at home to Villa and away, I think, they beat them last season away 1-0. But these big games at the Emirates, yes, they've had 16 games this season at home, won 14, drawn 2. Fantastic fortress. But can they actually go and beat a City at home? Can they beat, a Liverpool? Can they go and beat a Chelsea? They drew to Chelsea as well. Big games, they don't win.
They were frightened last night.
I would use that word. Because, again, to be the home team and not necessarily create 3 or 4 clear... I mean, Gyökeres last night.
Yeah,
Timberlands and boots, Timberlands and jeans.
Bit of yoghurt as well in there as well?
Yeah, really? Bit of yoghurt.
Yeah, no yoghurt there. And this isn't obviously inside Arsenal. We'll let the Arsenal fans try and deal with that themselves.
They're going to love this episode, by the way, aren't they?
Who?
The Arsenal fans.
Well, I'm not sure about that. But I mean, I couldn't believe why, from an Arsenal point of view, why they decided to sit so deep in that second half. Because you mentioned that first half, they dominated possession, but when they did press us, they got success. And then, so they were just tired. Benty said last night to us that maybe it was a tired thing. But again, going to the team at the top of the Premier League, I almost couldn't believe how much respect and time they gave us on the ball in the second half last night.
Yeah, second half was their game plan was totally different. As in, like I said, we could bring out the ball with our defenders. Our midfielders wasn't getting pressed. They had the whole team behind the halfway line. First half, they was pressing with Rice, with Zubimendi. The wingers was right up. There was literally making Van Dijk and Konate just go long at majority of the times, and then they was winning the second balls back. And then that wave was back on us again. Second half, the instructions that they must have got came from the manager. So for them to then take that away, we was like, I said at half time, I said, when we was watching the second half, I said, oh, fantastic. Arsenal, this is helping us. Thank you very much for not putting on that pressure, because if they'd have continued that for 90 minutes, it would have been a different outcome, because there's only so much pressure you can soak up,
But to limit Gyökeres to 8 touches for the whole game, I mean, Alisson had 40 touches last night. I think you have to credit Liverpool's defence and the way tactically they limited Arsenal very well. And again, that's a positive. You go into, and we talk about turning points. How many times have we said that? Oh, we'll beat Inter Milan.
Does it feel like a turning point, though, do you think, Alex?
I think it's not. Listen, Liverpool on the longest unbeaten run in the Premier League right now. Who would have thought that 10 games ago? 9 games unbeaten. Is it a turning point when you go, right, that's where everything changes? I wouldn't say that.
Sure.
But it's definitely some kind of foundation to build on. You go and play Burnley in the Prem next, then it's Bournemouth away, that's going to be a tough game, Newcastle at home. If you win all those 3, then suddenly, you know, January's been a good month to Liverpool. But look, if we lost last night, we'd be back down in the dumps today. We'd be going, where do we go from here? But it's.
I'd have accepted it. I'd have gone, no. You know, I knew this game was going to be a loss. If we did lose last night,
the way you lose,
I'd have said, yeah, you know, even if it was 2-0, 3-0, I said, yeah, this is what I was expecting after previous performances and the goals that we've been leaking.
So maybe it is a turning point then.
Yeah, but what is frustrating and.
Good vibes only, Jermaine, on the first Inside Liverpool.
No, it's good vibes, but I'm saying, well, what is frustrating is that we played Liverpool, we played Arsenal, 180 minutes, and we have not conceded against them.
Yeah.
How do we go away to Leeds, concede 3? How are we conceding Leeds at home? How are we conceding against Fulham 2? How are we doing this, but against apparently the favourites to win the Premier
Forest,
League?
3-0, we lost.
Like, we can do it. It's in there for us to be solid. And against the lesser teams, we can dominate and be more proactive. So he needs to find this fine balance, which he hasn't found yet.
I'm going to go off topic completely here, but it's in my head, and this is a really niche question to ask you both. If I said to you something's happened in 2026 with Virgil van Dijk that's a little bit different, something we've seen, would you know what I'm talking about if I said that to you?
No.
No, you probably wouldn't. So I've always had a thing with Virgil van Dijk that I've never seen him without the man bunning.
Yeah.
Like the man bun is, I've all like arriving at the game, leaving the game, in interviews, that bun is always there. And I've always wanted to know what Virgil van Dijk's hair would look like, not in the bun. And I've never been able to answer that question. He left Fulham on Sunday with his hair down. Oh, it looked perfect. It looked longer than I thought, glowing, locks, absolute
like a
perfection.
Dutch Viking.
Literally, yeah. So you know what? Who actually cares about the result? We saw Virgil van Dijk with his hair not in a man
The
bun.
L'Oreal adverts when he kind of does that and it all...
My 2026 has already been completed.
You want to see that, don't you? I think the last
Van
time...
Dijk?
Yeah, you want to see him with his hair out.
Yeah, has he done that?
Well, I think the only
I
time
haven't
I've
seen
seen
that.
it was the Fulham... We had the hat on and you
Sure,
could
well,
see
you could see it coming out the back, couldn't you?
But I think the last time I was on here, I said how great he smells when you see him up close.
Who said that?
I did, and his hair is like pressed to his head. It doesn't move an inch. Even when he wins all these headers, it doesn't move.
I remember Charlie Austin, when he was on the Breakfast Show on TalkSport, was
Smells
like,
great.
about Virgil van Dijk, the only thing that matters, he smells unbelievable. But when you're a professional football player and you're about to go out and play a game of football, are you seriously spraying before you go out? Surely not. Surely you've got bigger things. I mean, in this studio, I did an Ashes preview show with Darren Goff, and he said the one thing he'd always do is think before he goes out there and bowls for England, he'd make sure he smells good. I'm like, Goffy, who cares?
Smell bad, because then no one wants to stand near
No
you.
one wants to go near you, right? Yeah.
No, it is a thing. It is a thing. Like, I used to put Vicks there, a big block of Vicks. That's just to help me,
But that's to,
get it,
that's,
get
that's
the
to help
oxygen
your performance,
through
though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it feel good, play good? You want to smell good, feel good, play good?
Yeah. I don't think it looks for you.
I don't know
you
about
don't
that
want
for
to.
me. I'm not sure. I mean,
I think I've done that before.
I think
because your wash bag's there, everything's there. You just want to,
Virgil smells
it's you in it. You're representing yourself, so you don't want to be out there going, X, Y, he's barking up the wrong tree. You know what I mean? You want to be fresh and even though you start sweating, you just.
Virgil smells like a mix between oud and talcum powder. That's how I'd describe it, being up close to him. But I'm not sure about the spraying. I mean, you want to look decent on the pitch.
Let's look ahead, shall we? The immediate future is Barnsley on Monday night in the FA Cup. We know we've got... There you go, talking of hair, you should just...
done the old Gyökeres.
Making sure that hair is going back there, the locks are there. What sort of team should Arne Slot pick on Monday against Barnsley in the FA Cup?
Well, look, in the cup game against Forest, it was the team that was put out. Sorry, Palace, the 3-0 game. The team that we put out, I mean, I took my missus to that game, right?
I bet she loved you for that.
I take her to the big ones. Last year, I took her to Accrington Stanley. She said, who are they? I said, exactly. She went, what do you mean? I went, don't worry.
Is she a Scouser?
No, but she's a Liverpool fan now. She's from Nottingham. She's from your neck of the woods. I took her to the Palace game. She's like, who is that? And I'm looking at the programme. I don't even know, babe. So I don't want to see that again. We almost threw that game. But I'd expect to see maybe a Mamadashvili in goal. You'd expect to see...
Gomez.
Robertson, you'd expect to see Gomez, you'd expect to see Curtis Jones. I mean, this would have been a great game for a Harvey Elliott, for a Tyler Morton, for a Quansah. The squad is obviously a lot more depleted now. It would have been a great game for Leone. I mean, up front, what are we thinking? I mean, Gakpo is probably going to have to start. Chiesa probably has to play.
Whoa.
I know it's asking a lot.
Mate,
Federico Chiesa to play a football match.
We don't want ridiculous hot takes like that in this studio. Federico Chiesa starting a game of football.
Should do, mate.
Have you gone crazy?
Should do.
One thing I do think is important, I know we threw that cup game, didn't we? But our next league game's on Saturday, isn't it? So there's a 6-day gap. Yeah. Burnley at home, hopefully should be okay. So even if he rests some players, they should definitely be on the bench. I don't want to see the players rested and not on the squad. No. Have them on the bench just in case we got ourselves in a pickle.
They need to be in the squad, and I think it's got to be a mixture of senior first-team players and a bit of the academy guys. Not all academy guys going out there. I know it's Barnsley, but we'll be boys against men, and we will get found out and we'll get knocked out. It'll be the same situation as Plymouth.
Yeah, but again, immediately
that was horrible.
We've got Mamardashvili, Gomez, Robertson, Jones, Chiesa, and Gamoa for sixth place. Who's that?
Rio,
yeah. And
Will Wright, the winger.
Have you seen much of him?
I haven't.
I've heard good things about him.
But this is a game. The thing is, with this, I mean, Jermaine's played, I think, in 07-08. Didn't we lose to Barnsley? At Anfield. Weren't you in that game?
I think on penalties. I don't know if that was the League Cup.
Yeah, I wasn't playing. I didn't play in that game.
No, of course
not. You thought you're too busy. Rafa, I'm not messing around with that game at home.
Haven't on Waterlooville. Do you remember?
Yeah, I remember that game.
5-2 at Anfield.
Yeah. We obviously won that.
We were 1-0 down.
Yeah, but I played in that one. We was 1-0 down.
Scored a
I was like,
hat-trick,
what's going on here? This is not in the script.
Barnsley was 2-1 in 2008.
Yeah. So we lost.
Yeah.
So let's not repeat that.
I was injured.
Yeah, well,
yeah,
I think that was near the game with your goal against Chelsea. It would have been the same kind of.
Yeah,
time.
I was rested that game.
Rafa was like, great goal. We're not bothering you with Barnsley.
But we should be taking the FA Cup seriously.
Listen, the FA Cup is a competition that Liverpool should be aiming to win every single season.
I agree with that.
Right? Klopp obviously did win it on penalties against Chelsea. I think because of the way Liverpool went out last season, I think Arne Slot still holds that Chiesa performance against Plymouth against
and Harvey Elliott, I think.
Yeah.
And it was shocking that game.
It was a bad performance.
So because of Plymouth last year, use your loaf and say, right, that can't happen again. Right? We have to win this game. We're playing Barnsley at home on a Monday night. It's a must-win game for Liverpool. I don't care what anyone says. Put a strongish team out, confidence booster, win that game, try and keep a clean sheet, which we haven't done in the Cup so far, and get through to the next round.
And if you want to make changes, if you're 2 or 3-0 up, that's when you bring on more academy players. That's when you take off a Gomez. Because playing him 90 minutes, at the moment, he could get crocked, and we're down to bare bones. So, start strong, then rest players, not the other way around.
We get to February the 1st, Alex. You can imagine being in February the 1st, and you had to use your magic powers looking into the future. What do you think this Liverpool squad's going to look like coming out of January? Are you expecting to be busy?
In terms of incoming signings?
Yeah, players coming in, I know we'll obviously have a few players back, but in terms of new faces.
I mean, look, we've lost a signing that was perfect for us today to Man City, and I think that's more of a signing where they go, well, we don't actually really need him, but we're going to take him off you because you need him.
We don't want you to
and it's a little bit of a chess move, that. Listen,
don't they, City?
Yeah, the obvious move is Mark Gahey. We were so close. He was in Liverpool training gear taking pictures for the socials to announce him. We all know what happened. We didn't get it over the line. We messed them around a little bit too much on that deal for my liking, which actually might harm us going back into these negotiations in January. It's why they might say, well, you left it till the last day. Give us a bit of a chance. We need to go out and replace him.
And that's why that deal fell through at the last minute, because they didn't get it. The player was Igor, who they wanted Palace. They didn't get him, and that's why they pulled it.
But Glasner has now come out and said he's open to maybe getting rid of him in January for the right price. Arsenal threw their hat in the ring. I think that's maybe a smokescreen. They definitely don't need another centre-back. But I'm going to throw this back on you. If we don't get Gahey, which standout name is next to Gahey for us to go and get? Obviously, Richard Hughes will have the data, the spreadsheets with a list of names. But as fans and ex-players, do we know if there is another centre-back out there where we go, Bosch, we'll have him?
There is, but it's going to be... I don't think we'll spend that kind of transfer fee or funds in a January transfer window after spending almost $500 million. It will be more wait until the summer. So if you want to play this,
Can we afford to do that, Jermaine?
we can't
no,
afford to do that.
no, we can't. But this is where if you're not going to go for a Gay, where you can probably get a cut price of 35 million, which was going to,
which they already agreed.
which was agreed on, was going to do anyway. These players like Bastoni, I think, can play
January.
But this is.
But my question to you is January. Which centre backs in January can we go and get?
Can I say the name you said?
Yeah.
The Brentford player, Nathan Collins. I'm not saying Brentford will just roll over and sell him.
Like, he's their captain.
But if we come in with a decent price for Brentford, but he's someone who's Premier League proven, been really, really rock solid this season, and he's a name that I really like.
He'd be good. And again, if Leone was still fit, maybe we wouldn't even need another centre back. But that is the priority in this January window. We have to make a move in this window. We cannot watch this window go by with everyone else bringing in their targets, or even players that weren't their targets, but because they were our targets, they bought them. We can't stall here. We have to act quickly. We're now in, January the 8th?
A third of the way nearly through the month.
We're a third of the way through, and there's not even been a rumour. So I don't want to see us wait until the end again.
Why do you think the club would be against just going back in for Gahey and getting it done? Or do you think it's just not going to be that
Maybe
simple?
they're a bit burnt from the negotiations that obviously didn't end well for Liverpool in
Yeah, but you've got to put that aside, though. You've got to put
I agree.
I'm a bit, but listen, forget your morals, forget your egos. We, the team, need this. So it doesn't matter how you feel. Oh, we didn't go right. No, put your ego aside.
How much should we put aside for a centre back in January then?
Well, that 35 million is still there because we was going to do it in the summer, but it didn't happen. So it's not gone anywhere. That's still available to
And Palace
spend.
know they're 6 months away from losing this guy on a free transfer.
So you just got to go in and go.
What surprised me with that is in the summer, what the club showed they were going to do is go and get what they wanted, right? Is it going to be Ekitike or Isak? They wanted both. They got both in the end. They kind of showed real big, we're Premier League champions energy. We're going to Liverpool Football Club, going to get what we want. The centre-back thing is pretty obvious that we needed it in the summer. I think 6 months down the line, it's pretty obvious we need it again in January. I agree with you. I'm surprised we're sitting in, January 9th, 10th, whatever it is, still without a centre-back. Mark Gahey's there. We know Mark Gahey wants to come to Liverpool. We know Palace are open to selling him. Call up Steve Parish. How much do you want? Get Mark Gahey in. Because you know what, guys? We've still got a chance of coming top 4 this season. We've got a chance of winning the FA Cup. And we know we're the Champions League. We might not be the best team in the Champions League on paper, but we know we've got world-class players of that team. We've seen way worse English teams win the Champions League before. We're still in the Champions League. We can win the Champions League this season.
Champions League football suits us at the moment better than the Premier League.
Yes.
Because teams are not coming up against you and doing a crazy mad block, which we, some reason, really struggle against. And it's not long balls, it's not long throws, it's not relying on set pieces where we're struggling. European football teams are coming at you because they believe they can beat you, so they're not sitting back, and that's where the game's open, and that's where Liverpool find their space. So Champions League football suits us better at the moment than the Premier League. So yeah, you're right. We should be strengthening and concentrating now. Look, the Premier League's gone. We're too many points adrift, but the Champions League, that is possible.
Got to get someone though.
Yeah.
We cannot have this window fly by with no signings.
Yeah. And is it just centre-back or is there anything else you think we need in this window?
In an ideal world, we go and get another CDM, we go and get another... We're still about 4 players short, in my opinion. You still need a centre-back, if not 2. You still need a CDM, an out-and-out number 6. Obviously, I love Endo, but he's past it. Gravenberch isn't that out-and-out 6. Still need a winger. I mean, how we've allowed Semenyo to go to City is beyond me. I'm really kind of looking at that move and going, what were we doing whilst Man City were not messing around? That's the thing I do respect about City. They don't mess around. Do you want the money? There it is. We'll have the player. He's holding the shirt up the next day. Whereas we're kind of pussyfooting around a little bit with money and we did meet the fee that Palace wanted.
We weren't in the summer though, were we?
No, and again...
Maybe apart from the Gahey one, which was a bit too late.
It's the only summer where even Liverpool fans have gone, that's unlike Liverpool to go and spend all that money. But we were still missing some key players and we couldn't get them over the line. Let me ask you this. If Gahey did sign for us in August, would we be where we are now?
I think given the fact that Ibrahim Konate dropped an absolute stinker for the best part of 4 months...
But you had no one pressuring him to replace him, did you?
Yeah, so I'm saying if Mark Gahey was there, I think would have been much more solid defensively, and I don't think we've dropped anywhere near.
We wouldn't have lost last minute against Chelsea, Palace. We
Leeds penalty he gave away when he shoved the lad over, brainless stuff.
And by the way, since that bid has been accepted and we couldn't get it over the line, Gahey has beaten us 3 times.
Oh, in the Community Shield as well.
And,
yeah.
and in the league and in the cup.
Oh. Just get him done. Get him done.
Now.
Get him done.
Today.
Get him over the line.
Send it.
One question I'll ask you, Alex, because we haven't had you on the show a long time. We spoke about Slot and his future for a long, long time. A bit of a broad question on Arne Slot. We know what we've done last season, legendary stuff. This season as a head coach, the players have been disappointed. They got to take a bit of the blame. But maybe as a head coach, I've been a bit disappointed at him and maybe not finding ways to get the best out of Liverpool, to stop the rot, etc., etc. I don't want to word this question, make it sound disrespectful to someone that won us the Premier League last season. So if this question's not fair, tell me. Do you think Arne Slot is almost on a little bit of a trial period between now and the end of the season, that the people above him are going to be saying, right, you've got 6 months now to show us that you can turn things around, or we're going to get to the summer, and if we do creep into the top 4 and not win a trophy, we as a football club are going to have serious conversations as opposed to just letting you carry on next season on what happened last season. Does that make sense?
I think that's the situation. I don't think FSG and the higher-ups would sack him before the end of the season.
Sure.
Obviously, there's been a lot of online talk about, he's got to go, and most managers would have gone in that period, let's be honest.
Do you think even having won the league the year before, do you think?
Well, if you lose 9 out of 12, you're going to have a lot of knocks at your door. You're going to have a lot of serious chats to answer to. But I do think, the Liverpool way is, Liverpool have never sacked a manager that's won them a league title, by the way, ever, in the history. So there is that to go with. There is that hope, I guess, for Slot to go, do you know what, I hope this is the truth, that he's ridden through the storm. I hope we're on the other side of it now, that we're not going to be losing games like that again. I think he gets the time until the summer. Look, if Liverpool finish outside the top 4 and don't win a trophy, I think you've gone, well, do you know what, we gave you the entire season, we backed you with £500,000. Let's shake hands and part ways. And at that point, is Enrique around? He doesn't want to sign a new deal with PSG. I'm trying not to think. I'm not sure if it's the right fit. I'm trying not to think that far ahead to the point where he's going to go. But right now, he is the manager. He's won us a Premier League. You have to back him until the end of the season. And then we sit around the table and work out what the plan is going forward. But if he wins a trophy and gets us in the top 4, he gets next season as well.
And we're not ending on a negative viewpoint. 2026, Jermaine, we've got Isak to come back, Ekitike, Salah's going to start scoring goals after AFCON. Obviously, we're finishing in the top 4. We'll take the FA Cup. Top 4 in the FA Cup is going to be a good 2026? Oh, Jermaine, come on.
Yeah, do you know what? OK, let's finish on that positive.
Please.
It will be, if we win a trophy and a top 4, some silverware and a top 4, it would have turned into a better 2026 than it started. As in, going into the season, I was thinking, favourites, Isak over the line.
I know.
Who's going to touch us? Who is going to touch us?
And then we were in the first 5, not playing well. I was like,
and then I was thinking,
too easy.
when these boys start clicking together, getting into gear, we are going to be on a next level. And then to see where we are now, if the 2026 can bring us a trophy and top 4, I would say I'm happy.
I know we won the league in 2025 and it was the best day of my life. But as a calendar year, it was a very emotional. We lost Diogo. The tragedy happened with the parades. It's been a very emotional, challenging year for Liverpool. Yes, we won the Prem, but we've lost 19 games. On paper, it's not been a great year, 2025. So look, if we can get the top 4, I'd love number 7. Let's get to Budapest, the home of Kerkez and Szoboszlai anyway. Let's win the Champions League, win the FA Cup and finish in the top 4. I'll be over the moon with that, obviously.
Alex, I also wanted to finish with you. I know that obviously you're a passionate Liverpool fan. You live up in the city. You've got a season ticket holder. You've got a family as well that live in the city. And I know you wanted to mention someone very special to you and someone that loves Liverpool Football Club more than most.
Yeah, listen, for me and my family, it's been a really challenging week. We lost my auntie Lorraine Herity, season ticket holder for 30-odd years. She's seen it all. She was there when Shankly addressed the masses at St George's Hall in 1965. She was there at Athens. She saw you, mate, with man of the match in Athens.
Thank you, Auntie. Appreciate it.
She was at Istanbul, the Wembley trips, Paris.
She saw everything.
She saw everything, mate. And
she lived it.
And I go to the game with her. It was very sudden as well, and it happened abroad, so there's that complication as well. We're having her wake inside Anfield, inside the stadium. So, I just wanted to say, what a sad loss for myself, but just the wider Liverpool community. The amount of people that have reached out to me and said, "Oh, lads, I sit behind Lorraine. She's amazing," stuff like that. So I wanted to send a big shout out to Jimmy and Nadiv and Joel, Seamus, Ryan, all the kids, and an absolute legend. And I'm so upset she she won't be here, but this is why we need to go again and do something for her this year, for sure.
Nicely put.
Thank you for that, mate.
No,
Appreciate
I'm sorry for your loss, obviously, but fingers crossed that 2026 is a good year, and she'll be looking down with a smile on her face, Alex.
Mate, yeah.
Alex, thank you. Nice to have you back on the show, mate. And Jermaine, as always, well done, and looking forward to working with you throughout the course of the year. This has been the latest episode, the first of 2026 on Inside Liverpool, and I'm delighted to say that every single week now we will be doing an Inside Liverpool show, and fingers crossed we've got lots of fun and happy and exciting things to talk about. It's been Inside Liverpool. We'll see you very soon.